Previously on Return to Shironagasu Island. I keep thinking about what Abby asked you. She asked you who killed Thomas and Sir Raymond. That would mean that whoever is responsible for those murders is not someone from the mansion. As far as Abby knows, at least. Which means that one of the guests did it? That would be just as scary as... Indeed. We're in quite a quandary, and have to keep the killer in mind as well. I got off the elevator here. Looks like it's out of order right now. I'm not surprised. They already know that we're underground. Are they preventing us from going back up again? Does that mean that we'll have to go further to the rear? That's where that creature came from. I so don't want to go there. Huh? Looks like there's a door over there. Huh? Too bad, we're going there. Why did I not notice that staircase before? Tell me about your background, birthplace, family name, everything. My life is an open book. My name is Alex Werner. I'm an American of British descent. The Warner family made its fortune in arms manufacturing and exports during the Civil War. After that, we further grew our wealth on the stock market. We managed to keep a low profile, but we're one of the few billionaire families in the United States. Sounds rather comfortable. I look at Neneko. She might know about his family. We will be able to verify the accuracy of his information. Looks like he's telling the truth. Graham Werner, a descendant of the Werner family who earned a huge fortune in arms exports, sold his stocks just before the Wall Street crash in 1929, and increased his wealth by buying up stocks at rock-bottom prices, becoming one of the most celebrated wealthy men of the 20th century. He also invested actively in Hollywood, and was a founding member of a large studio. Even now his name is engraved into one of the largest studios. In 1969, he died of heart disease, which he had been afflicted with for many years. I read this in an article about Hollywood 3 years ago on December 2nd. What she says. Is that correct? What the? Oh no. It's all correct, but how can she remember something in detail? I think that my ability is a blessing as well as a curse. I can't forget anything, even if I want to. Thank you for trusting me. Well, I really don't. Alex, I wanted to ask you one more thing. Do you know a girl named Aurora Lavilla? She's a young girl, wears a blue ribbon. Aurora Lavilla? Interesting reaction. Hey, what's going on? Your face just became pale. Do you know anything about her? No. I don't know her. I'm sorry. I'm feeling a little bit dizzy. His face is white as a sheet. So he does know something about Aurora. This is very strange. He appears to be extremely upset. I'm sorry. I've calmed down. I'm alright now. You sure? What about that girl? Nothing. I was just wondering if you've come across her in the mansion. In this mansion? She wasn't one of the guests. Do you mean that this girl has been in this mansion all this time? I don't remember seeing any girl. You hear that, Neneko? Alex doesn't see you as a girl. He didn't see any girls in the mansion. You gonna take that line down? Isn't that just peachy? So, one of us is a killer. He or she should just come forward. If the killer doesn't cooperate, we'll all be killed. You won't be able to fight by yourself, right? Akira tries to appeal to the killer, but nobody speaks up. They'd have to be pretty fucking stupid to fall for that. As I expected, nobody reacted. But what's the killer trying to achieve? While they were trying to use the unlock code to bargain with the people from the mansion, they also killed Thomas and Sir Raymond. I don't know what exactly their goal is, but my guess would be that it is revenge. Revenge? Well, considering the things that have happened on this island, there will be many people who carry a grudge. It would be futile, though. Even if they had their revenge, they would never make it off this island alive. They must be ready to accept that fate. I was just thinking about the children's book we saw earlier. Based on that, I'd say that their objective is definitely revenge. I don't think that they were expecting to make it out of here alive, and were planning on killing everyone from the mansion. That strong determination is very obvious. But what would they do? No matter how skillful the killer is, they will not be able to get out of here. The odds wouldn't be in their favor. Or do they have another card up their sleeve? So, you came to this island pretending to be a man. Why did you do that? I hid the fact I was going to this island from my family. Because I often went to social gatherings, I was afraid they would become suspicious if I used my real name and didn't disguise myself. It actually makes sense. So, you changed your name and appearance. So, what's your real name? Lily Alexandria Werner. I see. Lily. Your middle name is Alexandria, which is where Alex came from, right? Only my relatives know my middle name. I was afraid I would be found out if I chose an entirely new name, so I went with Alex. My grandmother used to call me that. I'll keep your real name a secret. I'll continue to call you Alex, at least until we get off this island. Thank you. I appreciate that. But you can continue to call me Alex even if we escape. Alright, Alex. Hey, wizards. Let's stop playing games. I can't trust you if you continue to hide your identity like this. The way things are going, we're all going to become fish food. As I said before, our relationship is only mutually beneficial when our interests coincide. I will not become more involved than I have to. You're quite obstinate. Maybe I should just reveal your identity? Are you threatening me? Are you saying that you refuse to cooperate with me? I didn't say I wouldn't cooperate with you. I'm just saying I don't want to have a one-sided relationship. Trust is built on equal footing. I don't think our current relationship is very healthy. Here is what I believe, and it concerns you as well. If my identity is revealed, something bad will definitely happen to you. And, of course, that sweet girl as well. Well. It appears that we're at an impasse. My answer won't change, wizards. I'll reveal your identity. I'll be the one making our next phone call. This is my final warning. Do not attempt to reveal my identity. So selfish. Looks like I'll need to take care of this issue first. Neneko, I want you to find out who Wizards is. Time to use your abilities. I don't know. Should we do that? They must have their reasons for not revealing their identity. An undercover investigator, a killer, a mysterious monster, what the people from the mansion are trying to do? Everything is unclear. I have to at least uncover something. I have to solve these mysteries one by one. For starters, I want to know who Wizards is. I'm sure they've left some clues. We just have to use those to discover their identity. What? Jacob! Peek! A clean cut to his carotid artery of a sharp object. He most likely died on the spot. Most of the bloodstains are on his neck, probably because he died before he could resist. Was he surprised? Or wasn't he wary of whoever killed him? The blood flowing out of his carotid artery is not yet hardened. He's still warm, so he has only just been murdered. The wound on his neck was most likely made with a knife, which rules out that creature. It's probably the same person who killed Raymond and Thomas. Judging from this handiwork and the modus operandi, the killer is most likely a professional. Jacob was probably killed about 10 minutes ago, and the killer is probably still nearby, perhaps with evidence of the murder on them. I can't take this anymore. Why does this keep happening? This island. We shouldn't have come here. I should assemble everyone right now. And so it continues. Greetings, my name is Neosekken, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Return to Shironagasu Island. So, it seems to me that I've got two big choices to make here regarding who I decide to finger as my suspect, and both of them seem to lead, at least initially, to some very different outcomes, and that being Jacob and Riehl. One of these two is wizards, and based on what I saw towards the end of the last episode, I am starting to suspect that Riehl might actually be wizards after all, rather than Jacob like I initially assumed. However, since I chose Jacob first, what I'm going to do, at least with this portion of the story, is I'm going to play out my selection with Jacob first, see how that plays out to its conclusion, see where it leads, and then once I'm done with that, come back to the Riehl option, which I suspect might put us on the path to this game's true ending. I don't have any proof of that. I'm just suspecting that to be the case. But before we do that, however, I believe I got some alternate choices back in Chapter 4 I still gotta see. Namely around here, regarding our big bad monster. So, I want to see what these are real fast before we proceed with Chapter 5 onwards. Which I don't think will take too long. So, just gonna sit here and wait. Sorry, Neneko. Curiosity will kill the cat. And boy, did it kill it. Huh? What just happened? I was attacked by that creature. And my head is spinning. It's so dark. I can't see anything. Where am I? Eek! What's that sound? It's kind of slimy. Oh, dear God. Eek! Eek! What is this place? Looks to me like we're in, a pile of corpses. It's full of corpses. Oh dear. Ouch! Is something nibbling on my leg? Is it gonna eat me? Are all the corpses here? My legs! My legs are... Oh no. Oh no. Oh, please don't eat me! Help! No! Ikeda! Ikeda! Help me! Help me! I'm sure I'm all right now. It doesn't hurt at all anymore. Oh dear. Ikeda. I wonder how he's doing. It's dark here. I'm feeling sleepy. I'm sure this is just a bad dream. I'm sure I'll wake up soon. I've had enough of this. Such a horrible dream. I just want to wake up. Sorry, Neneko. Well, that's one option. Now I believe there's at least one more. Sorry again in advance, Neneko. Here. Let's try hiding in the locker this time. Ah, the locker. I should be able to hide in there. I should get inside quickly. Well, I'm inside the locker, but it's hard to keep my balance because I have to stand on a toolbox. But thanks to that, I can look into the room through these slits. If it comes into this room... No, that's a stupid thing to think. That will never happen. Eek! What was that sound just now? Huh? Yep. There's our handsome devil. What? It came into the room! But how could it open the door? This is bad. If it knows I'm here, it will kill me. I can't make a sound. The toolbox is out of balance. The sound. I think it just looked at me. It's just my imagination. Maybe I'm okay. I don't think it saw me. It's nearby. I'm shaking. I don't know if I can keep my balance. Help, 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 help. Did it leave? Phew. I can't believe I survived that. Anyway, I have to try to get out of here and not get caught by it. Oh, shit! I knew that was coming, and it still made me jump a bit. Son of a bitch. And this is looking to be the same. Okay, so I thought there'd be a slight variation to this, but I guess not. Poor Neneko. Alright, now we got that mild curiosity out of the way. Let's continue. Okay, Mr. Whiskey, I'm coming right back for you. Alright, we're trying to gather the guests here in this route. Akira, it's me. Could you come outside? We need to talk. Huh? Oh, I was just about to go to your room. What's wrong? You have a terrible look on your face. Did something happen? Did you hear anything strange about 10 minutes ago? Hear anything strange? Didn't you ask me the same thing earlier? I didn't hear anything out of the usual. Have you and Giselle been together this whole time? No, we've been running around, so we haven't been together all the time. Why does this feel like an interrogation? What's going on now? Jacob has been murdered. What? What? Are you telling me that he was murdered? I believe he did just say that, yes. When? And where? About 10 minutes ago. I found him dead in his room. So let me ask you again. Where were you and Giselle in this room 10 minutes ago? Were you and Giselle in this room 10 minutes ago? Hang on. I have to collect my thoughts first. I wasn't with Giselle because we were going back and forth between our rooms for luggage. But she couldn't have had enough time to sneak into his room and kill him. Isn't that right? Giselle? The young lady and I were indeed in separate rooms. For about 10 minutes, I'd say. I looked closely at the clothes Akira and Giselle are wearing. There are no traces of bloodstains on their hands or sleeves. Even if the killer is a professional, there would probably be bloodstains on their sleeves. Does that mean that these two are innocent? Not necessarily, unless they have some means to cover their arms. Assuming one of them is a professional, which we don't have proof for at this point, but well, I don't think Akira is a professional killer at the very least. Giselle, on the other hand, who the hell knows? There's a lot we don't know about her yet, I think. But the only remaining suspects are Riehl and Alex. Could one of them be the killer? Is the killer really one of us? If so, who is it? Or could the killer have come from outside the mansion? What a predicament. So, Ikeda, you said you found Jacob's body. You're serious, right? How do we know that you didn't kill Jacob? Hey, I've been on this floor, on the first floor this entire time, and I don't have a motive to kill Jacob. Perhaps someone hired you to kill all the people who have something to do with the island. Ikeda might not be squeaky clean, but he would never do something like that. Neneko, you're here with Ikeda, so I can't really trust anything you say about him. Well, well. Looks like there's plenty of distrust going around. Well, our numbers are dwindling, so that's kind of a natural consequence of that. With Jacob dead, there are only 6 guests left. It's only natural that she would suspect me. I understand that you might suspect me, but please stay calm. If I were the killer, there would be no reason for me to tell you about Jacob's murder. And I was trying to get everyone to assemble in my room. Why should I do anything suspicious? I guess you're right. But if that's the case, who's the killer? If it wasn't Giselle, Ikeda, Neneko, and I, there are only 2 more of us. I'm going to investigate, so please be discreet. Please cooperate with me. I just want to keep you all safe. Alright, we'll cooperate. If it's really dangerous. Alright. Akira, don't lock your door. I'm going to call Riehl now. If anything happens, take Neneko into your room and lock the door. Huh? Could it be her? Do you think that she's the killer? If Neneko's the killer, I would be shocked. And then outraged. I don't know yet. Right now, we're all suspects. Neneko, you're right here with them, aren't you? Are you just going to take that? Riehl, could you open your door? I'd like to have a word. Huh. Actually, I heard everything through my door. I've been in my room this whole time. I don't have any witnesses, so I don't know if I can convince you of that, though. I'm glad you got straight to the point. Do you remember hearing any noises outside? I think I heard Akira's voice in the hallway once, but nothing else. I might not have heard much because of the sound of the wind blowing outside. I'm sorry. What are you saying? Ikeda, don't let her fool you. She's trying to make me look suspicious. Calm down, Akira. Riehl just said that she heard your voice in the hallway. She didn't say that you were the killer, did she? Although I might be a suspect, Akira doesn't have an alibi either, right? I didn't have time to kill him. The more I think about it, the more certain I am that it has to be you. The killer must have wanted us to quarrel with each other. Whoever killed him is not an amateur. The murder method was a professional assassin technique. They covered his mouth from behind and nearly severed his carotid artery. If we don't stay calm, we don't stand a chance. In any case, we should gather in Akira's room. Giselle, could you call Alex and ask him to come here? Coming to this room by himself should not be too dangerous. Yes, I will. That's strange. What is it? I can't seem to connect to the phone in Mr. Warner's room. Oh, great. All I can hear is a busy tone. What? That's strange. Do you think he was killed also? That's definitely possible. Either that, or she has pulled a vanishing act. Or he could have been attacked by that monster. I should go and see. So you want the four of us to stay together in a single room? Not knowing who the killer is? It's alright. Just wait a few minutes. If Alex is safe, I'll come back immediately. Why don't we all go together? So that way we can all both keep an eye on each other and have more eyes watching everything at all times. If Alex is safe, I'll come back immediately. All of you should stand in a corner, face the others, and raise your hands. If one of you lowers her hands, the others should try to constrain her. Easy for you to say. Does that really work? I'll be back in just a few minutes. Considering the circumstances, the killer won't be reckless. Well, I hope none of your arms will get tired, then. If you're innocent. Very well. We will do as you say. But Ikeda, please come back as soon as possible. For real. Since nobody knows who the killer is. Please come back quickly. I've spoken to everyone on the second floor. That only leaves Alex. There's no time to waste. Alex! It's me! Are you alright? Open up! What's this all of a sudden? You startled me. Why aren't you answering your phone? I was just about to leave my room. Are you alright? Your phone gave a busy signal. My phone? I don't think there was anything wrong with it. What's going on? Did something else happen? You're lying, aren't you? I'll tell you about it later. For now, just follow me. Okay. I'll do as you say, but could you tell me what's going on while we're walking? Fine, I'll give you the short version. Jacob has been murdered. We're all gathering in a single room. What? Jacob? The killer struck again? I came to get you because the phone in your room gave a busy signal. I was afraid the killer had murdered you too. Don't say such scary things. Nothing strange has happened since you left. No, dear. Lights are gone out. Eek! Blackout. This is bad. We have to go to the room on the second floor right away. They're all gonna be dead when we walk in there, aren't they? I'm calling it now. The monster showed up, entered Akira's room while we were down here, and is in the process of butchering the others as we speak. That's what's going on, right? Go to the room, you say. It's pitch black, and I can't see anything. Hey! Don't touch me there! What are you talking about? Oh, the lights went back on. Huh? Oh, it was just the wall. Silly me. Hey, like I have no time to fool around. Let's head upstairs. What's that sound? Gunfire? Darn. Neneko, who? Well, maybe Riehl has the gun since she's wizards. The hallway looks the same as it did before, but I'm certain that something has happened. I have a very bad feeling about this. Just stay safe. Neneko? What happened? Why are you holding that knife? Where'd you even get that knife? Neneko! No, it wasn't me. Ikeda! Help! What the hell's going on? What happened? What was that gunshot just now? I can see Akira and Giselle covered in blood, and Neneko is holding a knife. Riehl. Where is she? Neneko, what the hell happened here? The light suddenly went off. I heard the sound of something moving and then some gunshots. Before I knew what happened, I had a knife in my hand. But I didn't do this. Help me, Ikeda! It's alright. Just give me the knife. Darn. No way. It's all the killer's work. I suddenly hear something moving quickly in the dark. A lukewarm liquid trickles down my back. A soft groan echoes in the dark. Before I realize what is going on, I feel a sharp sting in my side. Seconds later, the pain hits. The world goes dark before my eyes. I try to fight back, but my punches only hit air. A Shao thrusts its knife at me again. I collapse onto the floor. I try to protect myself from the knife lunging at me. I feel the shock of a sharp blade piercing into my chest. Well, since it's pitch black and we know the monster can see in low light conditions, maybe it's the monster. I violently spew out blood. The shadow repeatedly stabs me, over and over. Ikeda! Ikeda! I think I can hear Neneko's cry from far away. Darn. Guess I was wrong. My reasoning was wrong from the get-go. No, you should have all stayed together like I suggested. Even now, it's too late. I finally realize who the killer is. I think of Neneko as my life drains from my body. Well, going by that blue eye, it's Alex, isn't it? So, yeah, Alex, you lied to me about your phone not seemingly acting just fine, weren't you? Well, fortunately for us, that didn't take long. It looks like I was right about Jacob's path being a dead end. Okay, let's see what Riehl has to say for herself. Or should I say wizards? Okay. Well, I tell Riehl what I deduced. The people who I excluded, and the people who are unlikely to be wizards. However, I try to avoid talking about what happened with Alex as much as possible. With this information, we've narrowed down the list of people who could be wizards to 2. Jacob, and you. So who of you two could wizards be? I took a close look at the name wizards. It's strange that this is the plural form of the word wizard. Perhaps this name contains important information about wizards' identity. So what could that be? Was there something that narrowed it down further? What about the Wither Hills white wine brand? I continue Neneko's muttering line of thought. Yes, that's a possibility. It's possible that Jacob based that name on a wine brand. But Jacob is a picky guy and prefers high-end wine. He would have used the name of a more exclusive winery, not a supermarket wine. So let's look at the second possibility. The NBA team, the Washington Wizards. It's a basketball team from Washington. And I remember one of the guests talking about Washington before. Huh, that's right. Riehl said that she is a physician from Washington. Exactly. Undercover investigators usually use the place they are from and their backstories to ensure they aren't any slip-ups during their mission. Because if they say the wrong things about a place they don't know, people who are familiar with the place might blow their cover. So perhaps your place of birth really is Washington. Therefore, when you tried to come up with a code name, you thought of Washington, and that name popped into your head. That means that you've revealed your identity by telling me what city you're from. Hey, wait just a minute. Can I say something? Even if you really believe that I'm wizards based on that information, isn't that rather flimsy proof? You also can't discount the possibility that Jacob wanted to make me look suspicious. No. It took wizards only a second to come up with that name. Jacob couldn't have come up with that in such a short time. Even if he could have done so, why would he use the name of an NBA team? Most people wouldn't associate Washington with basketball. Also, I have conclusive evidence that proves that you are wizards. Conclusive evidence? Didn't you notice I muted the phone for a moment when you called earlier? When I muted it, I asked Neneko to call the guests' phones from Alex's room. The only phone that was in use was the one in your room. Isn't that funny? Only wizards and I were using our phones. If your phone was in use, who were you talking to? No room phones were being used except for yours and mine. It's quite the bluff you're placing here, man. I like it. Plain. I don't know why I said placing. The phone in my room. You must be mistaken. Stop playing innocent. The gig is up. You might as well drop the act, wizards. Huh. So that's why you muted your phone. And played like a fool. But I remember clearly asking you not to reveal my identity. So you are wizards after all. Actually, I wasn't sure that it was you until just now. Sorry. It was like you admitted it a little bit too soon. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Calm down and think about it. Did you really think I could have asked Neneko to go to Alex's room by herself to call all the phones? There's no way she could have done that. Why do I feel totally useless right now? You're not useless, Neneko. But now that you mention it, I don't think I could have done that. You were bluffing, and I believed you. No do-overs, I'm afraid. Sorry I had to fool you. But I'm glad that you revealed your true identity. However, wizards, we have to be on equal ground. You've got to be kidding me. Fine. You bested me. Alright, I'll talk. I need a stiff drink first, though. I got my hands on an excellent bottle of whiskey earlier. Let's have a glass of that. Slanty wizards. You're bloody annoying. Ikeda. Yeah, I hear that a lot. Are you sure this whiskey isn't poisoned? I got this whiskey before the people from the mansion became hostile to us, so don't worry about being poisoned. But you know, Riehl, you're pretty rough around the edges. Shut up. Who cares about my personality? If you have something to ask me, just ask. But you should understand that there are certain things I can't tell you. Okay, why don't you tell us about yourself? So, what organization do you belong to? CIA? MI6? As I said, there are things I can't talk about. I can't just tell you who I work for, moron. Don't worry, I understand. Alright, I won't ask again. How'd you manage to get onto the guest list? You made your way onto this island by using invitations sent to someone else, didn't you? More of those subjects I can't really talk about. But alright. Yes, my invitation was originally sent to someone named Sean Baxter. He was knee-deep in problems, and we managed to ensnare him. We wanted to send an undercover investigator to this island, so I cut a deal with him and became his representative. He ended up being hospitalized with a sudden illness. I see. However, the people working in this mansion are quite cautious. It would be difficult to convince them that you're a relative of one of the guests. Who are you, really? I wasn't lying when I told you I was a physician in Washington. Of course, I'm not doing that work anymore, and I only worked as a physician for about a year. What kind of reputation did you have as a physician? What? Why are you asking that? Nothing out of the ordinary. I see. Well, of her personality, it wouldn't surprise me if she had a bad reputation. Huh. Why am I really annoyed with you right now? Because I'm smart, and I outsmarted you. I outmaneuvered you. Wizards is a rather strange alias. Are you a basketball fan? Huh. When I was a student, I used to play basketball, so yeah. Yeah, I could actually see that. I shouldn't have chosen a word associated with Washington, but most people would not associate wizards with Washington. Yeah, most people wouldn't. But don't forget that someone rather special made the connection. Toot your own horn, why don't you, detective? Neneko Izumozaki. She possesses such a unique ability, yet she can't utter a single word without tripping over her tongue. What? Why are you so mean to me? However, Riehl, you weren't the only guest with a medical background. Isn't it difficult to deceive others without having knowledge of an active physician? I was planning to brush up on my studies so I wouldn't be exposed. However, knowing too much is not good either. It's easier to play the part of an ignorant little woman than that of an outstanding doctor. I see. Too bad it made me suspicious of you anyway. This is very important. Could you tell me about your weapons and skills? I have a Glock 30 with 3 spare magazines. That's the only gun I brought with me. Close quarters martial arts, hacking, sabotage skills, and so on. I've trained in almost everything. Looks like you could come in handy then, although you're not very well armed. Don't be silly. I plan to use a Glock 42, which is an even smaller magazine size, and I'm quite familiar with it. I didn't expect a large battle to happen and only plan on using a gun in emergencies. Hey, just like me. We're in an emergency right now, though, so feel free to whip it out at any time. Be my guest. Unfortunately, it looks like a large battle is about to happen. I'm glad there aren't many people from this mansion, but I'm rather worried about that monster. It's a humanoid biological weapon developed from the military. I haven't had to face it myself yet. I don't think we can easily neutralize it. Neneko, what impressions did you have when you saw it? Scary. Wah. Don't remind me of that all of a sudden. Let me see. As far as I could tell, its movement seemed slow, but I can't say anything because it might not have shown its true power at that time. In other words, you know nothing, Neneko. That's pretty useless. I was in a tough spot, you know? Don't bully her like that. Anyway, if it bleeds, we can kill it. We should be prepared to fight at any time, though. Alright? I just hope it won't come to that. That report I read was pretty scary. Are we really going to be alright? You're pretty nosy, aren't you? Hey, it's my job. As I said, I'm not at liberty to tell you anything else about my background. Guess I should ask her about other things. Okay, so it looks like I need to talk to her about some other stuff first. What do you know about the island? Riehl, what do you know about this island? Sorry, but I don't know that much. Of the 3 other investigators who infiltrated this place so far, 2 have disappeared. Oh, there's 2 more. The only one who returned was not able to discover any detailed information about this island. We found out so far, though, that this is a base for prostitution, organ trade, and some kind of weapon development. Sounds like you have more than enough information to blow the lid off this place. So why haven't you? Many well-known politicians and business people have frequented this island, so we couldn't expose the actual state of things here in the usual way. Just like with real life. Besides, we're after this island's research and development. We're not that interested in prostitution and the trade of organs. So you need to verify the information that has been gathered so far. If your superiors discovered that this kind of biological weapon was being developed on this island, what would they do? Something smells fishy. Probably take it over and use it for themselves. They're hiding something, aren't they? To be honest, I have my doubts as well. Hang on. This is classified information. I can't talk about this or else I'd jeopardize my position. I'd say your position's already plenty jeopardized as it is. Don't worry. There's no way that information could leak out in the first place. This is only conjecture, but perhaps one of our superiors is one of the island's clients who also knew about the island's research. So they could be trying to cover their asses. It's also a distinct possibility, I'll admit. That's what I've been thinking. I see. In other words, the superior who's seen that research wanted to obtain that technology by any means necessary. However, if he revealed all the details, it would be obvious that he was a client of the island's other services. So he made up stories about weapons of mass destruction so that your organization would have a reason to seize and obtain that biological weapon. It's just an educated guess, but the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. But if so, I'm just a pawn being used to satisfy someone else's greed. I'm really fed up. I can understand that. Why don't you get a new job? I'm a bad guy. I can only do dirty jobs like this one. I've done too many bad things to be able to lead a normal life. Hey, if I can do it, so can you. Well, if you want to turn over a new leaf, drop by my office. We'll talk. I don't think you're keeping your hands that clean either, Ikeda. Well, I'll keep it in mind. Don't expect anything, though. I'm gonna expect a lot of things if we make it out of this alive. Can you tell me more about this island? Any minor details are helpful. Anything else that comes to mind? I don't think I know anything else. No, wait. Come to think of it, for some reason, the research on this island suddenly stagnated 10 years ago. 10 years ago? Apparently, the flow of special chemicals they were using slowed to a trickle. But I don't know why. 10 years ago. Does that mean something happened at that time? Perhaps they ran out of money. No, prostitution and the organ trade continued at the same levels as before, and there were plenty of clients. It's unlikely that they ran out of money. If that's the case, then what could have slowed down the research? The disappearance of an essential element used for research, or maybe an important researcher who went missing. Maybe something happened to the source of the chemicals. It's possible that these murders are connected to that. Can the killer negotiate with the police from the mansion because they possessed something that was lost? Like a code? It is possible. It would allow them to resume the research. If it would allow them to resume the research, they would definitely be interested in obtaining such a code. Maybe that's the unlock code they're after. It could be the reason why Vincent and his associates would revolt. But why was the killer able to obtain that unlock code in the first place? It remains a mystery. At any rate, I'm glad that there is a possible connection between the research on this island and the killer. Interesting. Sorry, but that's everything I know about this island. Let me ask you something else. Okay, what do you know about our killer? Tell me what you were doing before and after Thomas's murder. I want to hear the details. Before I went to the dining hall, I was drinking in the lounge with Jacob. That idiot couldn't keep his mouth shut after a few drinks. He was a real fountain of information. I see. You were spending time with Jacob. I thought that Jacob kept you there against your will, but it was actually the other way around. It's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it. He appeared to be in quite a drunken state, and I was only pretending to drink so I wouldn't interfere with my mission. Only pretending to drink? Like, what'd you do? Spill the drink over the side of your shoulder while your head was turned facing him so he wouldn't see? So what happened after that? Abby, the maid, told us that the food was ready, so we went to the dining hall. Didn't you arrive rather late? If I remember correctly, you were the last guest to arrive in the dining hall. So she was. Right, Neneko? Heek! Yes, you're right. Come to think of it, I thought I'd quickly run back to the guest room building. I went to the bridge, but I noticed that the heavy iron door was closed. I figured that opening it would take too much time, so I just went back to the dining hall instead. I don't know if he was waiting for me or just took his time in the bathroom, but I ran into Jacob again, and we went to the dining hall together. That's it. I see. So the iron door was closed. Was there anything unusual about the corridor? Unusual? Nothing in particular. Oh no. Come to think of it, I think the iron doors were open at first. Does that mean that someone else closed them? The iron doors were open. When was that? I was disgusted by Jacob's drinking, so I pretended I had to go back to my room to adjust my makeup. What time was it? It was before Abby told us about lunch, so it had to be sometime before everyone gathered in the dining hall. Sometime before everyone got together in the dining hall. So the doors were opened at that time. However, when I went to the corridor later on, the doors were closed again. That seems to be the case. Someone must have lowered the doors. Someone lowered the iron doors. There must have been a reason for that. Why would anyone need to close those doors? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Did you notice anything about the causes of death or the murders of Thomas and Sir Raymond? If you're asking about my autopsies, I was taking them very seriously. I wasn't hiding anything. Thomas burned to death, and Sir Raymond died of blood loss after he was tortured. Thomas burned to death where there wasn't any fire. Sir Raymond was cautious, but ended up being murdered anyway. From the perspective of an undercover investigator, what do you think? Sorry, but I don't really know what to think. The way I see it, the circumstances surrounding Thomas's murder were very strange indeed. And although Sir Raymond was extremely vigilant, he was killed. If the killer was a trained assassin, they would have overpowered him with ease. Sir Raymond probably had a gun or some other kind of communication device. I don't think he would have had any time to use any of them, though. One more thing, Riehl. Did you hear any strange moaning after you arrived at the island and were escorted to your room? A strange moaning? Yes, I think I did. It sounded like the useless screaming of a half-witted girl. Poor Neneko. I forgot about her screams. Didn't you hear anything else? A man's groans, for example? A man's groans? No, I don't think I did, but... Is this connected to any of the murders? I'm only guessing here, but I think that Sir Raymond was captured and killed around the same time we were shown to our rooms. He was tied up and drugged. After that, all the killer had to do was torture and kill him. The killer seems to have harbored quite a grudge against him. But was he tortured in the same room where we found his body? I wonder. Even if the killer was a professional, I don't think Sir Raymond would fall into such an obvious trap. If you were Sir Raymond, what would catch you off guard? Someone who wasn't supposed to be there. That could have caught him by surprise. Alex, perhaps? I see. Someone who should not have been there. Who could the killer be? My guess would be that it's a trained assassin. Alright. That's all I have to say about that. Have you heard enough? Riehl, would you happen to know a girl named Aurora? Aurora? Who's that? What does she look like? She's blonde with blue eyes and wears a big blue ribbon in her hair. There's someone on this island who looks like that. I don't remember seeing her, but could she have survived what they did to the girls in this mansion? Well, if you don't know her, forget about it. Perhaps you shouldn't ask Riehl about Aurora. Riehl doesn't know about her either. If she was a virtual character created by that computer, it's only natural that none of the other guests don't know about her. But why did Alex react like that when I mentioned her name? I wonder. Most likely because Alex knows who Aurora is. Never mind. I want to ask you one last thing. I find it hard to believe that an undercover investigator like you doesn't have a way to get in touch with the outside world. Are you hiding anything? All communications from the island are monitored, and they've also set up several jammers. It's not possible to contact the outside world with regular communication equipment. So what you're saying is that it is possible with special equipment? Like what, a satellite phone or something? Well, I have an optical wireless communication device. It can communicate directly with satellites by using a high-power laser, so a satellite phone. This will avoid any jammers on the island, and there is no way the communications can be intercepted. But this device has a major drawback. It can't be used if there's too much cloud cover. Yeah, that would get in the way of a satellite's laser, wouldn't it? Not bad for a stupid little girl. Exactly. It's not a big deal in a normal area. But in the Aleutian, it's a problem. There is cloud cover all year round, so it can't be used to communicate often. Since we arrived on this island, I haven't been able to use it even once. And even then, the beams need to be focused precisely, making it very difficult to use. Still, good to have in case of an emergency. Yes, it would be really nice to not be dead by then. Also, without conclusive evidence that those weapons are being developed here, nobody will be coming for us. The risk is too high. We're stuck between a rock and a hard place. So, Ikeda, do you really think we can survive this? Of course! I'm the idiot in charge here. We'll stumble our way to victory. Judging from the cold-blooded ways each of the dead has been murdered, we're dealing with a professional assassin. Oh, and let's not forget about that creature. Hey, I'm doing everything I can. If things really go south, we could always try the healing power of prayer. Stop joking around. What good would prayer do? I've seen enough darkness and evil in my life. If there was a God, this world would be a little bit less wretched. If God does exist, he doesn't get involved in anything, so he might as well just not exist. So I don't pray to God. I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one looking out for myself. Welcome to the wonderful world of sarcasm. I don't mean everything I say so literally, you know. She reminds me of someone. Come to think of it, your office is in New York, isn't it? Can you see the Manhattan skyline from there? What's this all of a sudden? Yeah, my office has a great night view of it. Ikeda, if you don't stop lying, the demon will rip your tongue out. Actually, I'm bending the truth a little bit. But I do know a few places from where you can see the skyline at night. I see. The Manhattan skyline. I'd never seen it with my own eyes. Turn over a new leaf and I can show it to you. If I die, but you make it out of here, please scatter my ashes there. I don't have any friends or family. I'd rather be put to rest there than 6 feet under. Well, hey, if we survive this, I'll be your friend. Enough gloomy talk. Also, you can't see the skyline if all that's left of you are some ashes. Come to New York in one piece instead. I don't want to carry you around in your urn. Around your urn. I don't think all of us will be getting off this island alive. Poor Jacob. It's all right. If you die and I survive, I'll scatter your ashes on the East River. It's very kind of you, but we're all getting out of here alive. We can have breakfast in Manhattan, hamburgers for lunch, dinner in Brooklyn at night, and finally drinks at a bar. Not Neneko, though. She's too young to drink. And the East River won't have to be polluted with any of our ashes. I guess that's something to look forward to. I might have had a little bit too much to drink. I'll sober up in my room and come back a little later. Do not reveal my true identity to anyone, okay? Of course, no need to tell me. We'll just pretend that things are the same as before. Don't worry. Actually, I'm more worried about the gloomy girl. Don't worry about her. Neko doesn't even possess the communication skills that would allow her to talk about that. You... Stop insulting me. But come to think of it, you're probably right. Well, the truth often hurts, Neneko. I'll see you later. Phew. At least we discovered her real identity. I'm glad we did, but what are we going to do now? Of course, our next step will be unmasking the killer. In her testimony, Riehl talked about everyone. If we combine and compare all of the testimonies, I'm convinced that we will be able to unmask the killer. Could you take a look at this first? Thomas was the first guest to cross the bridge. We don't know if the doors were open or closed at that time. No. Riehl and Jacob crossed the bridge first. Yes, you're right. Alright, but let's focus on retracing Thomas's steps, as he was the one who was murdered. Riehl noticed that the doors were open. Next, Thomas crossed the bridge. Yes, at this point in time the doors were open. But if we base this solely on Riehl's testimony, we don't know if the doors were closed before or after Thomas went to the dining hall. This part is definitely muddled. After that, we went through the corridor and crossed the bridge. The iron doors were closed, and nothing was happening on the bridge. Right? Yes. I don't remember anything being out of the ordinary. One important fact is that the iron doors were closed when we went through the corridor. So if Riehl's testimony was correct, someone must have closed the iron doors just before we crossed the bridge. Who could it have been? The iron doors. Most likely. Maybe it was Thomas that closed them. Actually, let me save first. Thomas probably closed the doors. Thomas? But why? Did he need to close the doors? Because Thomas couldn't have been the killer, so there would have been no point for him to close the doors. Neneko, you're overlooking one thing. That letter that Thomas had on him was probably written by the killer, so instructions from the killer may have been written in it as well. If a good enough reason were given, Thomas would have closed the doors. For example, this is very confidential, so I want you to close the iron doors so that the other guests can't make it back easily. I see. I may have tricked Thomas into closing the doors himself. That way, nobody would spot the killer, and nobody could have seen Thomas being killed. Let's talk about the murder scene. Okay, so that was the right guess, and that was the right, well, not guess, but rather deduction. I want to see what the other options say. The killer closed them. The killer probably closed them. Well, only the killer would benefit from from the doors being closed. But did they go to the bridge just to close the doors? Someone could have seen them closing the doors. Perhaps the killer really wanted to have the doors closed, even though someone could have seen them. But still, it would have been a lot of work. Okay, so it doesn't actually confirm one way or the other, huh? Wait a minute, what was that? I see something here in blue text, but I can't... Something about stairs? Well, I still think my deduction that Thomas was the one who closed them is the right one. But anyway, let's see what this last one says. Doors were closed the entire time. Really? If they were closed for a long time, that means that Riehl's testimony is a lie. But didn't Abby say the doors should have been open? Based on the testimony of both of them, I think it's more likely that the doors were open. You're right. This doesn't make any sense. So the doors were open, someone closed them. Are you alright? You're making me worried. Alright. Curiosity satisfied. Let's get back to this. Let's talk about the murder scene. After we crossed the bridge, we met Abby. Abby told us that she would lock the doors into place. If she did as she said, the iron doors should have been opened right after that. She's a villain and tried to break my bones, so maybe she was lying. But that doesn't appear to be the case. If Akira and Giselle's testimonies are true, the iron doors were open. So Abby did what she said she was going to do. After that, Akira and Giselle went straight to the dining hall without noticing anything unusual. Giselle said she went back to her room to pick up her notebook. That's pretty suspicious behavior. Oh, that's right. Giselle returned to her room to pick up her notebook and then went back to the dining hall. The doors were open at that time, and there was still nothing strange about the bridge. Alex crossed the bridge next. Alex also testified that there was nothing strange about the bridge and the doors, and that the iron doors were closed. He was the last one to cross the bridge. It's suspicious. Alex could have closed the doors and might have done something on the bridge, right? Is his testimony trustworthy? In any case, considering Riehl's testimony, it's clear that the iron doors were closed at this point. We don't know who closed them. For now, anyway. We just fingered Thomas. But anyone could have closed them, including Akira, who left the dining hall immediately. Only the two of us have an alibi. Or did the people from the mansion close it? It might be possible, but it wouldn't explain why Abby went out of her way to open those heavy doors. If the killer had people from the mansion close the doors, why would Abby open the doors in the first place? Does that mean the killer closed them? And Thomas. who stepped out of the dining hall was burnt to a crisp in the corridor in the guest room building. Judging from both your and Alex's testimonies that the bridge felt warm, it's certain that there was something hot on the bridge. But Alex told me he didn't see anything unusual on the bridge when he crossed it. That's very strange. If there was something strange about on the bridge, Alex would probably have noticed it. This part is still vague. Maybe Alex was just lying? Right now that's what I'm suspecting. That could certainly be the case, but Riehl might be lying as well. When it comes to what happened on the bridge, the testimonies of those two are the most suspicious. Considering the situation, definitely. Or could things be less complicated than we're thinking? I think it's best to keep things simple. Perhaps we should not focus on the murder of Thomas. Well, not only focus on the murder of Thomas. This could be somehow related to the murder of Sir Raymond as well. This is how the guest rooms were allocated. We found Sir Raymond's body in this room, on the first floor. There's nothing particularly strange about that. Is there anything here that points to the killer? I want to try something. Huh? What do you want to try? I mean, go right ahead, but I'm going to the room where Sir Raymond's body was found, and I'll yell from there. I want you to listen if you can hear my voice in this room. Are you really going back to that room? My knees are shaking again. Hey! That means you're going to leave me alone again! You've got to be kidding. No, you can't be serious. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I'll only be gone for 2 minutes at most. Are you really going to go? Calm down, Neneko. Think. It's just stupid Ikeda trying to be funny. Wah! You idiot! Don't you? No! I can hear Neneko yelling and screaming behind the door, but I need to check my hunch. I better hurry to the room where we find Sir Raymond's body. Neneko, you better stop screaming soon so you can actually stop and listen for me. Otherwise, you're just gonna waste everybody's time here. Ugh. This room is so gross. That putrid dead body smell still hangs in the air. I better get this over with quickly. Neneko is a bonehead! Why is everybody insulting Neneko today? Good lord. I should do it. Now to find out if Neneko could hear me. I'll go back to my room. Hey, Neneko, I'm done. You can come out of hiding. Ikeda, you idiot. You made me wait almost 1,000,000 years. 1,000,000 years is actually quite short, it would seem. Imagine that. That long and you haven't had a mental breakdown. Not bad at all. So, could you hear me shout? Shout? Oh, you mentioned that. I completely forgot. Sheesh. Well, since you totally forgot about it, I'll just have to go back one more time. Yeah! No! No, just kidding! I remember what you told me. Are you sure? So, could you hear my voice over there? I don't think I did. Probably. I'm telling the truth. Would I lie to you? Yes. Don't leave me alone anymore, please. If you leave me alone again, I'll call you send demon scumbag Ikeda for the rest of your life. Oh no, anything but that. Don't call me a demon. Whatever. Anyway, I believe you. But if you didn't hear me, then it's kind of strange. Because Alex and I both could hear Sir Raymond's moans. That would mean that the moaning didn't come from the room, but came from the hallway instead. Maybe? No. I checked the hallway as soon as I heard the moaning, but there was nothing unusual there. I didn't hear the sound of a door closing. That moaning sound had to have come from another room. Then, which room did it come from? I think that it came from the room next to this one. The room next to this one? I have a bad feeling about this. Show me the map again. That Alex's room is next to us, right? Or do you mean next to us as in to our right and left? Join the party. If I break into the room next to ours, I may be able to find some evidence there. Okay, so it's right next to us then, not Alex's room. Alright, got it. I knew it! Don't go! Stop leaving me behind! Come with me then. To be honest, I don't like that either. Make up your mind, little lady! Oh, wait, I have a feeling you're going to leave me again. I guess I'll just have to come with you. Because you won't be able to do anything without me. Ah, that's very helpful. Really. What's that smug look? Again, Neneko is a national treasure. She must be protected at all costs. Are you going to pick that lock? Is water wet? Not bad, eh? For someone so useless. I guess you always have a career in burglary you can fall back on. I'm not seeing anything in here, so maybe the bathroom? Alright, all clear. I don't see anyone hiding. Oh. Why don't you just turn on the lights? It's almost identical to our room. The only thing that's different is the painting. Neneko, do you notice anything? It doesn't matter how small. Do I notice anything? Nothing in particular, to be honest. Well, the sheets are a bit misaligned, but only a tiny bit. Sheets, huh? I don't think it's a big deal. I disagree. Goose Detective, check the sheets! No, I think it is. Well, what do we have here? I'm assuming DR refers to Dan Raymond. A handkerchief with initials on it. Was it underneath the bed? The initials DR. Dan Raymond? So this was Sir Raymond's handkerchief. It doesn't have any dust on it. I also don't think the killer left it there on purpose. This is important evidence that proves that Sir Raymond was in this room recently. So Sir Raymond was attacked here? But isn't that strange? It's certainly strange. So, the killer called Sir Raymond to come all the way to the room next to yours. Then they went out of their way to move him to a different room to kill him. Or they killed him in the room right next to ours and then moved his corpse into the room where we found him in. And as to how they did that, well, maybe the sheets are slightly misaligned in the room we just entered. So what the killer probably did is that they killed him in this room that we're in, and they wrapped his body up in the sheets of the bed, and then swapped the sheets between the two rooms, so that way they could move the location of the murder, so to speak, or at least make us think that he was killed in the room where we found him in, rather than the room we just entered. Probably could explain that better, but yeah, basically they swapped the sheets with his body in them in order to change the location that we would think he was killed in. No matter how you think about it, isn't it strange? It certainly is a mystery. Why did they tell him to come to this room? And why did they move him to a different room later? What do you think? I really don't know. Let's see. I might know why they moved Sir Raymond to the other room. When the killer murdered Sir Raymond, they would have known about my real background. So they must have thought that it would be too risky to mutilate him in the room next to mine. That's why they moved him to a different room first. Okay, so I guess I was half right. Ew. Did they really have to mutilate him? I mean, they wanted to mutilate him so badly. Even if it would mean that they could be discovered. What a sick person. They likely harbored a grudge against him. Anyway, even this will not explain why the body was moved, so I do not understand why the secret meeting with Sir Raymond took place in this room. There would only be disadvantages to having a secret meeting here. It's as if it had to be this room for a reason. A reason why it had to be this room. For instance, perhaps there's a hidden passageway in this room. That would explain why Sir Raymond was caught off guard. But in that case, it had to be a passageway that the killer knew about, but Sir Raymond didn't. That seems very unlikely. Is it possible there's a hidden passage here that even the administrator of this mansion didn't know about? It's certainly a little bit unlikely. Or did they manage to surprise him another way? Another way? How then? For example? What if they snuck in through the window, like the monster? Well, I don't know if Alex can pick locks. Either that, or they weren't dangerous for... Well, if they weren't dangerous for him, then, well... That would just, eliminate them as a suspect. So, they probably snuck in through the window, right? Did they sneak in through the window? These windows have no locks, so they could sneak in from outside. From the window? There's a terrible wind blowing constantly. Did they sneak in by using a rope? It would be quite difficult, or even impossible. Well, it certainly would be difficult, but I don't think it would be impossible. For a trained professional killer, that is. Well, if you put it like that, you may be right. Just by thinking about the possibilities, old memories come back into my mind, and I feel dizzy. Let's stop talking about this. I almost thought that I'd solved the case, though. How could the killer have come up with such a strange murder method? There must have been a simpler way. Certainly. Or maybe the killer was inspired by something that had happened in the past. An isolated island in the sea. Strange iron doors. A warm bridge. A burnt corpse. Constantly blowing winds. A transparent killer. A mysterious creature. Wait. By Jovi, I think I got it. The killer's modus operandi. What? Really? Tell me. If what I'm thinking is right, only this person could be the killer. The killer is... Yes? Who? Hang on. I heard something behind the door. What? What are you talking about? Your timing totally sucks, I'll say. Are you leading me on? Who's there? What are you doing there? Whoa! Was there really someone there? Neneko, let's go after them. Whoa. What the? Why are you guys coming out of there? You gave me a fright. Akira, did you see anyone running past you right now? What? I just saw Jacob. Jacob? Darn. I have a bad feeling about this. Wait, hold up. Did something happen again? Hey, wait. Hey, what's going on? Jacob just ran past me. So, Jacob was just listening in on us from there. What's he up to? Well, this is unexpected. Riehl, stand back. I'm opening the door. Okay. The iron door is no longer blocked. Looks like he's one step ahead of us. Jacob! Oh, hey! I see Vincent and Abby. Jacob is in the middle of the bridge. I can see Vincent and Abby blocking the way. Huh? What's he doing? Neneko! Duck! Vincent's holding a gun! What? A gun? Eek! Someone did the killer. After all. Jacob is shouting something at them, but the sound of the wind makes it difficult to make out what he is saying. The killer is... What? Does Jacob know who the killer is? Was he eavesdropping on us to learn information that could unmask the killer? Please! Because I have... Jacob and the other two appear to be negotiating, but I still can't hear what they're saying. Vincent and Abby don't appear to be very open to negotiations. I have a feeling something very bad is about to happen. Hey! What's going on there? Looks like everyone in the guest room heard the commotion and has come here. Riehl, Akira, Giselle, and Alex are all here. Get away from the door. Vincent has a gun. He might shoot you. Stay out of his line of sight. Alright. What the hell's going on? He's got his gun pointed at Jacob. What's going on? I think Jacob's trying to cut a deal with them. That's just a guess, though. And it looks like negotiations have fallen through. Looks like negotiations have fallen apart. That's what I just said, Goose Detective. What was that gunshot? What happened? Tell me. It's not a very pleasant sight. Don't look, alright? That was a headshot from the hip. Vincent appears to be an expert marksman. This is a warning to the killer! You have 30 minutes! If you don't tell me the code by then, I will kill everyone without mercy! Vincent! What code do you want? Detective. Outsiders shouldn't talk too much, or their lives will be cut short here. Whoa! I see Vincent's muzzle move in my direction and quickly take cover. Oh dear. 30 minutes, huh? Doesn't leave us a whole lot of time. Suddenly, the iron doors on both sides close. The guest rooms in the main building are separated again. We have 30 minutes. It's not a lot of time. There's no point asking the killer for help now. I'll have to reveal their identity. Let's go back to my room. We can discuss what to do next there. How can you stay so calm after that? You said we only have 30 minutes. What is this code anyway? What do they want? Just calm down. Let me think. Let's go to my room and plan our next move there. Don't tell me you're going to shoot yourself in the head. I'm not drunk enough to do that. Yet. Oh, so you've gotten yourself drunk enough to where you have wanted to do that before, eh, detective? You doing alright in your personal life, detective? Need somebody to have a conversation with? Besides, if I had to shoot someone, I'd shoot the person who got us into this mess in the first place. Time for the big reveal. Time to settle this once and for all. I should already know who the killer is. Okay, time to come clean. Alex. She was the last person who crossed the bridge. If anything had to be done to the bridge, Alex would be in the best position to do so. She could have killed Thomas. But the problem lies with the murder of Sir Raymond. I don't see why she'd take the risk and choose the room right next to mine as her secret meeting place. There would be no advantages to having a secret meeting there. only disadvantages. If you want to sneak into a room, choosing the room next door to hers would make more sense. If Alex did kill Thomas, I can't see her killing Sir Raymond. Is everything alright, Ikeda? Do you have something to tell me? Darn, what the hell? I'm wrong? What the hell am I thinking? I've been over this several times already, and I still don't know what to do. What? A blackout? No, this is... I hear something moving quickly in the dark. Before I realize what is going on, I feel a sharp sting in my side. Seconds later, the pain hits. The world goes dark before my eyes. I try to fight back, but my punches only hit air. A shadow thrusts its knife at me again. The pain makes me collapse onto the floor. In the dark, I try to defend myself, but suddenly feel a strong shock as the blade pierces my chest. I violently spew out blood. The shadow repeatedly stabs me, over and over. Ikeda! Ikeda! I think I can hear Neko's cry from... Wait a minute. This is the same thing as before. Isn't it? No, it's not. Darn. How could I mess up at the last moment? Only one person could have been the killer. The answer was staring me right in my face. Why did I... Okay, so I guess I was wrong then. Alright, so I'm just gonna zoom right through this real quick. Okay, so I looked at the map for where everyone's rooms are again, along with the rooms that contained Raymond's handkerchief and the room where we found his body. I'm still convinced that I was still convinced that the killer had to have snuck in through the window. So here's where my line of thinking was incorrect. I was thinking that the killer had to have snuck in from the room snuck in from the room from one of the windows on the same floor. But I completely failed to take into account rooms from above on the second floor. And if Raymond was indeed killed in the same room where we found him, or in the room right next to the room where we actually found him, that left only two rooms where the killer could have gone into either one from up above on the second floor, and that was either Giselle's room or Akira's room. And since I don't think Akira is our killer, that leaves only one person. So yeah, the answer was staring me right in the face, but the way in which I approached how the killer entered the room through the window was incorrect, so that ended up sabotaging my thinking. So Giselle, you're our suspect. That's right. The only one who the killer could be is Riehl. I need you to cooperate with me, alright? Huh? Yes. Of course. How can I help? It's only a teeny tiny thing. Huh? Hey, is this some kind of joke? Why are you tying me up? Hey, my hands hurt. Riehl, you're the killer, aren't you? Another bluff, huh, detective? What? What? Huh? No way. Huh. So, she's the killer? That's right. First of all, Riehl and Alex were the only two people who had the opportunity to set a trap on the bridge that could kill Thomas. So this allowed me to narrow the list of suspects down to two people. Then there's the murder of Sir Raymond. I always wondered why exactly Sir Raymond was caught off guard. But in the end, it doesn't matter. The killer only needed to unlock the door and sneak into the room where the meeting was about to be held. Did she unlock the door? But how'd she do that? Actually, she's really an undercover agent who snuck onto this island. She's highly trained. Not only can she pick locks, but her assassination skills are also first class. But how did she kill Thomas? Did you find out how? We don't need to anymore. We could just ask to kill her herself. That's right. Come on, Riehl. Give up already. Ikeda! What are you thinking? Do you really think I'm the killer? You idiot! Someone else is the killer! What? She just became a totally different person. Do you mean she's been acting this whole time? It appears that Ikeda's reasoning was right. Ikeda, don't listen to her. She's trying to get into your head. Real killers always say things like that. Quit fooling around. You'll regret this. You're all going to be killed by the real killer. Neneko, keep an eye on Riehl for me. Huh? What? Me? I think there are others here who could do a better job. Everyone else, please come here. I have an idea I want to discuss with the three of you. An idea? What are you going to do? Torture her until she talks? Close, but no cigar. We are going to reveal the killer's identity. What? You're making zero sense right now, Ikeda. Eek! Alright, I've got her. You! Calm down, Akira. Riehl isn't the killer. What? What do you mean? I'm so not following what is going on here. Judging from the murders, it was obvious that the killer is a well-trained professional. It would have been difficult to neutralize them if they had been on their guard. That's why I had to play a trick on them. I was confused when Ikeda started to tie me up. But then he whispered his little plan to my ear. The rope was loosely tied, so I could easily escape and sneak up on Giselle. Looks like your plan worked, Ikeda. You could have told me in advance. I was startled when Riehl suddenly stood up. But Ikeda, you didn't need to tell everyone that I'm an undercover agent. I had to. If I hadn't done that, it wouldn't have been able to fool the killer. I needed a good reason to incriminate you and distract the real killer, so revealing your true identity was my best bet. I love it when a plan comes together. What? You're making a mistake. I'm not the killer, and I didn't kill anyone. You're pretty calm, aren't you? Giselle Reed. Anyone else would lose their composure in such a situation. This calmness. She has the composure of an assassin. But Ikeda, do you have any concrete evidence that proves she is the killer? Please don't tell me that this is just a hunch. Of course. I'll explain everything. Let me tell you how Sir Raymond and Thomas were murdered, and why I'm certain that Giselle is the killer. First of all, let's talk about the murder of Sir Raymond. Sir Raymond's estimated time of death was around 2 a.m. on the day we all arrived on the island. Sir Raymond didn't show up in the dining hall. I surmised from a mysterious moaning that Alex and I had both heard that Sir Raymond was most likely tied up in the room next to mine at noon on the first day. As evidence of this, I found Sir Raymond's handkerchief in the room next to mine. In other words, the killer had used this room as a secret meeting place where they restrained Sir Raymond. Wait a minute. Did they go out of their way to set up a meeting in that specific room, right next to yours? Isn't that strange? You're right. I was wondering about that as well. Luring and capturing Sir Raymond there. The killer must have used some kind of ruse to catch Sir Raymond's attention. So I thought about how everyone's rooms were allocated. No, wait. It was Jacob's room. I mixed up the position of Akira and Jacob's rooms. But I mean, hey, that still meant that Giselle would have been able to have climbed between the room where we found his corpse and her room. So I thought about how everyone's rooms were allocated. There was something strange about it. If the killer had chosen the allocation of the rooms, the allocation must mean something. How the rooms were allocated. I never thought of that. As I've said before, all windows can be opened from the outside as well. There was no need to be afraid of intruders on this island. The killer took advantage of that. She snuck into the room through the window before Sir Raymond arrived. Sir Raymond let his guard down because he had Abby sweep the room first. After Abby checked and told him that the room was empty, Sir Raymond entered it with his guard down. He was restrained by the killer, who had snuck into the room earlier. Wait, but there are always strong winds on the island. It shouldn't be easy to sneak in from outside. The only way that can be done is by abseiling with a rope. Did the killer really manage to do that? I guess I'll have to ask Neneko and her photographic memory about this. What? Me? Yes. You were about to fall out of your window around the time that Sir Raymond was captured. Do you remember everything you saw then? Was there something like a rope hanging outside of this room? Forced me to remember that terrible moment. How cruel. I really don't want to, but I don't have a choice. A rope was definitely hanging along the wall. And you didn't bother to tell me this before. Why? But it was the same color as the wall, so I couldn't see it well. Wah! I'm falling! I'm falling! You're still here with us. You're safe. I'm never doing this ever again. I see. So it's possible the killer used the rope to sneak into the room. Wait, in that case the killer would have been staying directly above the vacant room where Sir Raymond was captured. But that was Jacob's room. How can Giselle have been the killer? Jacob was definitely a suspect too. But then the following occurred to me. What is it? The wind. It's so strong that it can make you fall down if you open the window even a little bit. The wind on this island is blowing very strongly from right to left. If you abseil, you would be swept to the left. Ah, I see now. The killer knew this from experience. This is why she didn't pick the room directly above it. She picked the room that was further to the right. She took the wind into account. Certainly. It would be difficult to get down into a room right below if there were always such a strong wind blowing. Considering the strength of that wind, she could have exited her bathroom window and then entered the room to the left underneath her. Wait a minute. But she could perhaps also have managed to do so from the room directly above it, right? Indeed. So the list of suspects is narrowed down to either Jacob or Giselle. This is only a guess, but I think the killer knew how to descend from one room from another from past experience. Past experience? Anyway, let's consider the next case, Thomas's murder. Thanks to Neneko and Alex's testimonies, I found out that the bridge was warm at the time. So what happened there? Jacob used the words transparent killer. The victim was killed around noon, and Thomas himself didn't notice anything. So what I arrive at is burning ethanol. Ethanol? The killer poured ethanol onto the bridge and then set it on fire. Speaking of ethanol, there was certainly a lot of recetified spirit in the wine cellar. Recetified spirit is liquor with a strength of 95 to 96 degrees. It's almost pure ethanol. That explains where the killer got the ethanol then. But wait a minute. Even if the bridge was set on fire, nothing happened to me when I walked over the bridge. How can Giselle be the killer? I don't think she had the chance to set it on fire. Giselle set it on fire when she went back to get her notebook. The bridge was already on fire when you crossed it. How is that even possible? The murder was committed at midday when the sun was high. It's difficult to see pure ethanol burning in full sunlight. Because of that, you probably didn't notice any fire. This is what a transparent killer really means. Clever. Also, We all know that the drainage is terrible on that bridge. The ethanol remained on the bridge for a long time, and it only appeared to be a puddle. But in that case, why was Thomas the only one who was burned and not I? We both crossed the bridge. There were several factors that led to Thomas's death. The first is that Thomas's clothes were made of hemp and flammable. But there was one more thing that makes this a well thought out murder method. And what is that? The iron doors. Why is it so important for the killer to close the iron doors, even though she would risk exposing herself? In fact, the iron doors played an essential part in Thomas's murder. Why were they essential? You mean the wheels? Exactly. Thomas had to stop on the bridge to turn the wheel. It just took some time, and after a while, the fire ignited his suit. I see. In my case, I opened the door from the guest room building when I crossed the bridge so I didn't catch fire. To think I could have ended up just like Thomas. That isn't enough to convince me. Some ethanol can't cause such serious burns. How do you explain that? It would be easy to imagine if you were in Thomas's shoes. As he was turning the wheel, he suddenly felt the heat underneath his feet. Surprised by the fire, Thomas panicked and tried to extinguish the fire. That's when he saw the vase in the corridor. And there was more of the ethanol in there, right? Hence why it was broken. The vase? Wait. Did the killer anticipate Thomas's behavior and put more ethanol into the vase? How could they have foreseen that? It would explain the severity of his burns, though. Thomas wanted to extinguish the fire with the water in the vase, but burned himself to death instead. Am I right? Is this what happened? Giselle? It certainly is an amusing theory, but it all sounds like speculation to me. Perhaps the murders were carried out as you described, but you can't tie me to any of them. The testimony is about the rope hanging outside the guest room building was vague, and anyone could have set the bridge on fire. She appears to be right. The testimony about the rope is vague at best, and I can't conclude that Giselle was the one who poured ethanol onto the bridge. I want to crawl into a dark cave now. Besides, if Giselle really is the killer, she might have had an accomplice. Giselle is Akira's attendant, so Akira might have helped her in one way or another. What do you have to say about this? What the hell? Stop talking nonsense! I'm telling you that neither Giselle nor I are the killer. The killer has to be someone else. What do you think, Ikeda? Do you have any concrete evidence? Of course. I guess I'll have to go back to the beginning. Why did the killer use such strange methods to kill someone in the first place? It's strange if you think about it. There are better and easier ways to kill someone, aren't there? There's one explanation. The killer already knew what they would do before coming here. Already knew. Which means they knew the victims? That's right. Jacob once told me that Thomas's death was similar to something he had seen before, and the killer had to be a woman. For some reason, he wouldn't explain himself further. Yeah, he did say that. My guess is that the killer had witnessed something in the past that was similar to the way Thomas was murdered, or they may have experienced it. It's possible that these murders were revenge murders. If that's the case, then what Jacob said would make a lot of sense. It also explains why he didn't want to talk about the murder method. I see. But do you have any proof that Giselle survived and escaped from this island? And is there any evidence that proves Akira is an accomplice? We can find out the answers by examining what Akira has said before. The first thing that stood out to me was that Giselle didn't want to take a bath with Akira. Perhaps she thought it wouldn't be appropriate, as she is Akira's attendant after all. However, there could be another reason. Giselle didn't want to take a bath with Akira because she wanted to hide the burns on her body. What are you talking about? There's no way. Akira also said that when we found Thomas's body, Giselle kept her back from the door. It seemed like a casual act, but it also takes on a completely different meaning when considering everything else. She was the one who tossed the snake in there. When Akira and Giselle got to the bridge, there was still fire burning on it. Giselle realized this, so she quickly moved Akira away from the door. If my guess is right, there should be old burn scars on Giselle's legs, and new burn marks as well. If what you was right, Akira couldn't have been her accomplice. If Akira had been her accomplice, she couldn't have talked about those things. Alex, could I ask you to tear Giselle's stockings and check her legs? My hands are kind of full right now. Me? All right. I'm sorry, Giselle. Whoa! There really are burn scars, as well as recent burns. I concur. Those are burn marks. Old scars as well as recent burns. That proves it then. Giselle. No. Killer. Will you finally admit your crimes? No way. Tell me that he's lying. Giselle! I can't believe it. I didn't think you would be able to discover the truth with so little evidence. Ikeda, it looks like I've underestimated you. Everyone gasps as Giselle's tone of voice suddenly changes. Giselle, are you really a survivor from this island? Why did you kill them? Was it for revenge? You won't be able to understand even if I explained it to you. Everything I had, everything was taken away by Shironagasu Island. The people I killed were horrible men who had it coming for a very long time. I have no regrets ending their lives. My only regret is that I couldn't kill Jacob Rutland with my own hands. Giselle, what do the people from the mansion want from you? What's your bargaining chip? Something I was given by someone when I had to leave everything behind here. My trump card for revenge. However, the people from the mansion want to use it to control the world. The world? Control the world? Please give it to us. Giselle! No. My revenge is almost complete. I won't allow you to get in my way. I don't think you quite understand the situation you're in. I'm not as meek as you thought, and I'll get what I need by any means. And now you're talking just like me! Aurora! Hey! I heard the monster, in response to the name Aurora. What? What was that shrieking sound? Wait a minute. That would also explain why the monster stopped when Giselle yelled at it. Giselle's been controlling the monster. Ugh! What the? That's the creature. Why is it here? Eek! It's the demon of Shironagasu Island. No. Aurora. You can't eat them now. Get me out of here. You're not going anywhere! Don't move. Don't any of you dare move a muscle. Otherwise, you're all going to die. Is that a bomb? What do you mean? I have a parting gift for you. Handle it with care. If you have miraculous knowledge and amazing luck, you might be able to make it through this alive. Giselle! Listen to me! Are you really the killer? So our relationship was just a lie? Giselle! Yes. It was all a lie. Everything. I'm just a liar. Hick! Wait! Giselle grabs Akira, and the creature holds them both as it disappears out the window. I run to the window and look outside. I can only see the back of the creature running toward the main building. It got away. We must have already made it to the main building. It's impossible. Jumping across cliffs that high while carrying 2 people? So, that was the monster. The demon of Shironagasu Island. Why? Why did Giselle call that creature Aurora? That's the name of the girl I saw. Darn. What's going on? I don't want to spoil this moment, but the bag Giselle left behind. I have a very bad feeling about it. Should we just leave it there? She left us with a warning and also left her bag here. Let's take a look inside. Is it a bomb? It's definitely possible. But nobody should be stupid enough to try to defuse a bomb at a time like this. Alex, Neneko, get out of here now. I think Neneko has been paralyzed with fear. I'm a bit nauseous, and my knees are shaking as well. Huh. That isn't a joke. I've lost all strength in my legs. I can't stand. That monster was too much for me. I'm sorry. Jeez. Alright, I'll carry you. The phone is ringing? Ikeda, just ignore it. We have to get out of here right now. You're just trying to slow us down. No. Leaving here might be a mistake. I should pick up the phone. Who's this? Ikeda! Don't go outside! Huh? Akira, is that you? Are you alright? There's an explosive outside. It's been armed. Don't go outside! Oh, great. So, more than one? Calm down. What happened to Giselle? What explosive? Giselle. She left me behind. But enough about her. There's an explosive. Giselle planted an explosive on that iron door. So don't open it. On the iron door. Are you sure? It was like a square box. Giselle told me that if anyone opens the door, it will explode. Akira, where are you now? In a dining hall. I'm calling from there. Ikeda, I'm scared. What am I supposed to do now? I don't know what to do. It's okay. Don't worry. I'm going to take care of this right away, and after that I'll come to get you. For now, turn off the lights and hide in the shadows. Wait, don't hang up! Please! I'm scared. Talking on the phone is too dangerous. Just hide, okay? Ikeda, she's in a very dangerous situation. If Akira is right, an explosive has been planted on the iron door. Knowing how well trained Giselle is, we'll have to deal with the bomb here first. Riehl, do you have any experience with bomb disposal? Well, I have studied bomb-making fundamentals. I might be able to handle it. I also have some tools that can be used for dismantling bombs, but they were originally designed for breaking things, so don't expect too much from them. Good enough for me. Neneko, you should go to Akira's room with Alex. If this bomb explodes, the room furthest away from here may be safe. No. I'll stay here to help. I don't need someone who becomes paralyzed as soon as she sees a monster. Be a good girl and move far away from here as you can. We're supposed to be together. Besides, if you die, how can the rest of us survive? Don't forget that I'm your partner. Sheesh, make me feel guilty. Alright, I'll let you help me. Can I leave? Are you kidding me? Alex, you're a man, aren't you? You have to show that you're less afraid than this little girl. Stay here and help me. Actually, I'm a girl. What a stupid joke. I'll make you dismantle the bomb first if you say something stupid like that. I wasn't joking. Well, looks like our fates are now bound together. Alright. I have everything I need. Let's take care of this bomb. Okay, you know what? As nervous and excited as I am to try my hand at dismantling a bomb, I think this is a good enough spot as any to leave things for now. So, one way or the other, between the mansion staff and now this bomb, we're gonna be we're short on time. And if we make any missteps, we're gonna die. Again. So hopefully, when we come back, I'll be able to dismantle this thing without getting myself killed too much. I suspect I'm going to fail at least once, maybe twice. Past that, though, well, God help me, I guess. So, with that being said, I hope everybody enjoyed this latest episode of Return to Shironagasu Island. If you did and you'd like to see more content from me, feel free to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you all next time. Take care.